Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am the pick a card Empress, and some of you guys may know me as Made for Love on my other channel, Made for Love, where I channel messages for the twin flame or higher level soulmate collective. So if you are in one of those dynamics, you may want to check that out. Anywho's, today we're asking about your person's thoughts and feelings about you right now. Now we have 3 piles today. Pile 1 is the Oceanic Tarot. All these are mermaid decks, including the Oracle deck, right? Pile 1 is the Oceanic Tarot, and it is also this brooch, right? Pile 2, so this is the Oceanic, just in case you need to see the box to make up your mind. And pile 2 is the Dame Darcy Tarot, and this brooch here, to make sure I don't break myself. And pile 3 is this Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson. And it is this brooch right here. Okay. So guys, you do your thing. Pick your pile. Now, each pile has an extended. And in the extended, I'm just going to assign these randomly. Each one has a vibe bag. So I'm going to put this one here. So you can also choose with it by the vibe bag, right? So pile 3 has this green one. Pile 2 is going to have this purple one. And pile 1 is going to have this red one. So you can choose by either the deck. Maybe you're drawn to the deck. Maybe you're drawn to the brooch. Or maybe you're drawn to the vibes bag. So we open the vibes bag in the extended. Now each vibes bag has charms. Some of them have tiles. It's all kind of random shit. Oracle cards, messages from your person. And I'll also start each extended reading with a semi-trance message from your person as well. So in the extended semi-trance, and then we go into the vibes bag. Okay, so do your thing, pick your part, and I'm going to be back with your reading. Take care. Hey guys, welcome to your reading if you chose pile 1 and the Oceanic Tarot. Now before we get into the tarot, let's get a significator for your person's energy towards you at this time. I'm going to be using the Archetypes and Shadows deck by Chakras. So underneath the deck, we have Earth Mother. So already I think this person, despite whichever card will come out, they see you as the Empress and very nurturing, very fertile, or whether you're able to have children or not, you're fertile or abundant in terms of projects, bringing things to life and nurturing something into maturity. This is how they see you. Some of you might be a larger than what society thinks is acceptable. And they kind of like that. Okay, there's something about your body that is different from what society deems to be acceptable. For some of you, you may have gray streaks in your hair before your time. Or you may be gray at this time and you wear it proudly and you have this beautiful hairstyle that they really love. But there's a feline kind of sexiness about you that they like. For some of you, you might be cat lovers as well. I'm sorry, guys. For some of you, if you are female in body, okay, biologically female, you have a big you've got a fat cat that they like. Sorry, guys. I'm just relaying the messages, okay? You've got a fat cat. Big old camel toe. which they absolutely love. You know, in the Caribbean especially, we like those kind of things. Anyways, or maybe even if you're a male in body, you got a big old fat something that they like. I don't know. There's something here about being fluffy. All right, let's go. All right, so the energy towards you at this time. We have the shaman. Okay, so this is someone who are facing their demons. Okay, they're owning the demons. For some of them, okay, definitely they may be under spiritual attack at this time, but they're warding it off. I see them in a transformation process, and I see that here with the scorpion, and that's the energy of transformation. Every time I bring this particular crystal onto my table, it's a big transformation cycle that is moving through the collective, and it looks like your person is well caught up in that. And in the midst of this cycle, I'm hearing that they're in the ring of fire right now, and that's always about karmic purification. Okay, they're in the ring of fire right now. They are growing so much, they're gaining so much wisdom and taking their place as the head or as the lead in some sort of tribe. Okay, because I do see the headdress here. A lot of them might be embracing the spiritual gifts at this time. I do see the eagle is also here. Okay, the crocodile. All right. What am I getting with this? Oh my goodness. All right, let me go to the eagle because I have to think about the crocodile just a bit. Okay, I see what the crocodile is connected to. 1 second. All right, so the eagle, and of course, eagle is one of the highest expressions, of course, of Aquarian energy. But the eagle is also associated with Scorpio, one of the highest vibrations of Scorpio, right? That's an evolved Scorpio. So this is what they're moving into, this wisdom especially. Okay, especially when it comes to their heart space and their emotions. I really do think that they're connected with their ancestors at this time. Okay, I see this ancestral tree with the eye. I'm getting a lot of psychic downloads. For some of them, they might be very much connected to African spiritual traditions. And the reason why I came up with that, or maybe they're from the South, could be. The reason why I came up with that was with this crocodile, because from the time I saw this crocodile, spirit flashed in my mind. You know what? Let me get it. There's a particular tribe in, I think it's in Central Africa, that makes markings on their skin, like the crocodile, because they think it's beautiful, and it's also part of their initiation process. So I do think they're going through an initiation process right now. Let me get that information because I don't like to leave you guys hanging. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm glad that I looked it up because I was in totally the wrong region, right? It's actually the Chambri tribe in Papua New Guinea. And they do it to honor their ancestors, who they believe were crocodiles. They believe that their ancestors, or men rather, evolved from the crocodile. So to honor the ancestors, the crocodile, they mark their skins with these tribal marks as a rite of passage for those who are male in body, and it signals their movement towards adulthood and their evolution. So your person is evolving from this crocodile here, from that reptilian brain, okay, where you're only operating on instinct and stimulation, and moving into that place of enlightenment. So they are definitely on this big enlightenment journey now, a spiritual journey, and it looks like you spark that. Okay, so I see them facing their inner demons, but this is their initiation, this ring of fire. This is their initiation. In order to become in the divine masculine, whether they're male or female in body, right? We're talking about the energies, the divine masculine, that they were always meant to be, this healer. I think a lot of healers in this particular pile. Okay, so let's pull some cards on that. Let's pull about 3 cards on that, and let's see if we get any other messages. But I think that is basically the messages that we're meant to. So they're moving out of darkness, really. Spirit, what? Any other additional messages? Okay, so we have the star. Yeah, definitely that's what it is. It is about healing. Okay, so some of you can definitely watch my other channel, Made for Love, because I do get a twin flame vibe here. And the reason why I get a twin flame vibe is because the twin flame journey is a shamanic one where we're moving out of dwelling in um all lower energies, okay? We can call it the darkness, operating purely from shadow and moving towards the light, but also embracing that shadow as well and integrating it as part of us, and allowing that shadow to really emphasize just how bright the light is. So I see a person and they're on a healing journey, definitely right now, and they're stepping into embracing their power. We have the Ace of Wands here because the Two of Wands reverse goes to the Ace of Wands. We have the Nine of Swords reverse, and that's about facing your fears. So I think I'm right on point with interpreting the message that they want. You have triggered a spiritual awakening, this healing journey that they're on, and they're starting over. And they're starting from the bottom up. And it starts with learning to love themselves first. So I think this is what, where they're at. Where they're at. Learning to love themselves, doing that healing, stepping into their power, and facing their fears. I do think this person, they were bound by their fears. And fear is the food of the dark. Fear is the food of lower energies. So they're moving out of that and moving into love. And love only begins at courage. So your person is finding the courage to face themselves, face the world, and to face any fears that may have had them bound. I do see that they may come forward here with a little love offering. For some of them, it may be an apology. For others, it may be some small gesture to show that they care. So maybe invite you out to dinner, maybe have some kind of meal. They might bring you a gift, that kind of thing. I really get this person really not good at, verbal communication, because even now I'm struggling to express myself as I touch this card here. But they're going to give you something, make some kind of gesture to show that they care. That's what I get. Okay? All right, so let us look at their thoughts and feelings towards you at this time. We are going to get 6 cards. Their thoughts and feelings. So they're working on themselves, but I think that you have triggered this big spiritual awakening, this initiation that they are going through right now. Okay, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. And the 5 of Cups talks about sadness. It talks about grief. But when it is in reverse, for me, this talks about heart healing. Finally facing your wounds and committing to healing your heart. And we saw that there with that first card. So let's have a look. So their energy towards you right now is to heal themselves. Because they wanna be there for you, and they want you to be able to trust them again, or maybe trust them for the first time. But Spirit is telling you this is gonna be a process. Okay. If you're watching this the weekend of the 7th of January thereabouts, go onto my channel, Made for Love, and I'll tag it down below. Let me put a little note. Power 1. It's called Kami Wants to Talk. I think it was in the extended, but maybe the general message will resonate for you anyway. So we have King of Pentacles. So this is their energy towards you, what they're thinking about, what they're feeling. We have Ace of Pentacles. And all these got turtles, guys. I told you. Right, so a lot of earth energy coming through. We have Taurus already showing up. All right, a lot of earth energy coming through. But their focus, you see this turtle looking at the money. They're focused on their finances right now. We have the Lovers in reverse, and it's a card, the choice. Ooh, the choices. Okay, so they're making a choice at this time, or rather they have already made a choice, right? So consciously, they know that you're the one. It's how do they get to you? And they feel like to get to you, they need to be more stable. We have the 3 of Pentacles, and it says recognition, right? So this is where they're at. Recognizing this love, like recognizing their feelings, acknowledging their feelings. We have the 7 of Swords. Okay, we have the Five of Wands. And we have the Four of Swords, and it says recovery. All right, we also have competition here. Okay, so what am I getting? Regret. They've had time to actually sit down and think about things, and what they're coming up with right now is regret. Let me just move these cards just a little bit. We are a bit over here so you can see the cards as well, right? A lot of regret. I think this person, maybe when you met them, they were always on the go, always on the move. Maybe they're a party animal, life of the party, here, there. Somebody that's, just couldn't sit still or couldn't stay at home. That's what I'm getting. But maybe as we're going through, this pandemic, they have a lot more time to think, and have a lot more time to reflect on their actions, and what they're coming up with is regret. They know they've hurt you. And they know that they've caused a lot of drama in this relationship because of their deceit. Okay? I really do get a real backstabbing vibes here, and they're recognizing this loss. This is what I get at this time. They're recognizing this loss. I don't think this person allowed themselves to feel the loss of this relationship. I really get that this is someone who compartmentalizes a lot, or they could be very dismissive avoidant. And when you're dismissive avoidant, it takes you a while for your emotions to catch up with you. Okay? So they would have a breakup, and maybe they don't recognize the enormity of that breakup, or they don't allow themselves to feel those feelings until maybe months or even a year after, or even years after, right? They don't allow themselves to acknowledge that, right? They just put it aside, shut it out, and then, little by little, it creeps up, especially if they've had some kind of traumatic life event, and it looks like they had that traumatic life event when you moved away. This is what I'm getting. So everything was fine as far as this person was concerned until you moved away, and then it kind of cracked open their heart, and all these feelings started leaking out. So that's what I get. So a lot of regrets. Okay, they know that they have to do differently this time. They do want to come back around to you, and they want you to trust them again. This is a big issue that I'm getting here. They're trying to figure out, how do they trust? How do they? Maybe they do have trust issues, but how do they get you to trust them again? Because they got this big old pentacle that they want to give to you, but they're slow to come towards you, and they know that they have to take it slow because they did a lot of damage the last time around. Okay? They were like this bull in the china shop, Taurus. They were just bull in the china shop that's plowing through things, and they weren't careful with your heart and your emotions. So they're realizing, listen, they got to take their time with you this time, but they are recognizing that you are their lover, right? You are their twin, you are their soulmate, you are the one. I do think they may have even invested in another relationship, but now they're going through this recognition. Okay, and they're realizing that they're living a lie. Seven of Swords, they're living a lie. Okay, they're also realizing that they were a predator. I see the shark here, right? They were a predator, right? And again, shark is very much going back to the dinosaur vibes, right? Also oldest living dinosaurs right now. So it looks like they're realizing that they were unevolved, right? They weren't thinking about anything else or anyone else. They were just being a predator, operating on instinct, operating on that from that reptilian brain, okay, and just reacting to situations. They weren't thinking. So now that they have time to think, they are feeling your loss. I'm also getting as well that they think that they have competition. They do think that there's somebody else in your life that is nurturing you at this time. Look, we have the seahorse here, okay? And the seahorse, even though he's male in body, he also carries or also nurtures the young until they are ready to go out into the world, right? The female seahorse transfers the eggs or the young ones into the male, and he carries them to term, right? So it looks like this person thinks that there's somebody in your life who is nurturing you like they didn't. They feel that you have somebody in your life who's nurturing you, who's been a provider, who's been a protector. who's getting all that nurturing energy that they want for themselves. But they know that they can't come back to you the same way that they will before. They have to go through this process, and they know that they have to change. They want you to trust them. This is a big thing that they have. They want you to trust them again. That's what I'm getting. So they know that they have to change. They're going through it. They're going through it. I think there's a lot of drama in their life as well, and maybe this third party, because I do feel a third party here, and this could even be work. Maybe they chose their career over you. Maybe they were just focused on the material world, right? I think there's a lot of drama here, and just as they may have stabbed you in the back, it looks like somebody returned the favor. And that's how the universe works, right? That's how the universe works. Whatever you put out there is what you receive. So it looks like there's a lot of drama going on in their life right now, but this is to trigger their own healing. Let's get some messages from the mermaids. What's the guidance for you at this time? Woo. We have the mystery, and I heard surrender to the mystery, right? That's what I heard, right? I think there's a lot of things that are unseen going on behind the scenes for you, and Spirit is asking you right now to use your intuition, to use your wisdom, because I see the long hair here, and it comes back to this long hair, right? To use your wisdom to tap into what's going on all around you. And it looks like all around you, there's divine protection. That's what I'm getting here. All around you, there's income in abundance. I see all this fish here. For some of you, there is a pregnancy in this new year for you. And if you're not of childbearing age, or you're not able to have children, okay, there is going to be a big project or several big projects that are going to come in. These are waiting to come in. They're still behind the veil. They're waiting to come in. But Spirit is saying surrender to the mystery of this. You don't have to know it all. There's beauty in the unfolding. That's what I heard. So let me read from the book for you guys. It says mystery. Let's have a look at what this is. Mystery. So it says, embrace the wonderful mystery of life. Some things can't, exactly, right? Some things can't be known and are better left mysterious. Mystery is alluring and enticing. This mermaid comes to share the importance of mystery. She wants you to know that there's no need to demystify things. Do you know someone who's always trying to find explanations, analyzing and examining everything? Yeah, me, right? Maybe this is you. Yeah, it's me. Sometimes just accepting the magic of what life is called, of life is what's called for, and instead of trying to decipher it all. The mystery of life is beautiful and magical, and magic exists in the mystery. Does someone appear mysterious to you? Are they trying to lure you in? Perhaps you could take a tip from them and become more mysterious yourself, rather than laying everything out on the table, so to speak. Allow your inner workings and mysteries to be unraveled over time as you get to know someone, rather than telling and sharing everything at the first meeting. But what I also get, there's also a mystery in you. There's a part of you that you've still not tapped into, and you're unfolding. And I think this year, a lot of things are going to come to the fore for you. And a lot of spiritual gifts that you didn't even know you had are going to come online. That's what I got with that as well. It's also possible that the mysterious guise is a mask someone is using to hide something from you or those around them. If you feel that is the case, don't turn amateur detective. And I do think this person is hiding things. We do have that Seven of Swords very prominent, right? Instead, ask poignant questions and see how they respond. Notice if they become guarded or open. So if there's anything you want to know, you go directly to that person and you ask. And in the response, you're going to get your answer, right? Whether it's a non-response or no. If this card appears next to the love card, and there was a love card, right? Then this applies to a loving romantic relationship. And the message clearly says to hold back a little. Enjoy the journey of discovery without revealing everything so fast or too soon. So Spirit is telling you, take it slow. Okay, mash your brakes. The relationship is a wonderful journey, so let it unfold and share only when it feels right in a natural way. So you might want to accelerate this connection because maybe you feel time slipping away, right? Spirit saying take it slow. Okay, time don't run away from anybody. Take it slow. Okay. So if you want to delve deep into this and get more messages from your person, join me in the extended. I'm going to do a semi-trance message from them there, and then we're going to dig deep into this vibes bag. Let's see what's inside, and see what your person has to say and what spirit also has to say about this connection. Okay. All right, my love, thank you so much for everything that you do for this channel. I'm very grateful. Your likes, your shares, your dislikes, your comments, clicking on the ads, the cups of coffee, supporting the Coalition for Domestic Violence. It all helps the community expand and grow, and I'm grateful for it. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pal One. If you chose the Mermaid Tarot by Dame Darcy, this is going to be your reading. Okay, so before we get into your reading, we're going to get a significator for your person for their energy towards you at this time. So what's their energy towards you at this time? I'm using the Archetypes and Shadows deck by Chuck Spezzano, and we have Drunk. Okay, so this is someone who is numbing out. Okay, and even in the bottle, they're still haunted by your ass. They are still haunted by you. Now, I do see that they do have some dark energy lurking around them at this time. And of course, you would attract this once you're in this vibration of numbing out. Now, there's nothing wrong with drinking. But anytime you're here and you're trying to escape, okay, and you get to that point where you're drunk, you let down your guard. This intoxication also affects the integrity of your aura. And of course, negative entities, they're going to start gathering. Okay, so this person here trying to drown their emotions in the bottle, but even in the bottle, they're finding you and they're finding your light, because this is actually opening them up to the spirit world. But the only thing is, it's not just opening up to them, opening them up to the light, but it is also opening them up to darker forces. All right, so they have a headache. They're really beating themselves up. They're blinded by your light. So we have the Drunk. All right, let's see. Whoa. We're going to see what that is. The energy towards you. We have the Homemaker. So this is how they view you, okay? And this person's dressed like a geisha, which is interesting, because they see you as that combination, which I always found geishas represented. That combination between class, very classy, and very practical, very elegant, but at the same time having that sexual undertone. And this is how they see you. So they see you, your natural place is to make a home out of a space, right? And that's beautiful Empress energy, right? You're not, that's where you are naturally. You make things grow, you make things beautiful, because you are beautiful and your energy shines through everything that you create and everything that you touch. And they want to make a home with you. Okay, I do things like this. Might be the first time this person's actually thinking about settling down with someone, even if they have someone else. And you'd be surprised if they have someone else. They've not settled down in that relationship either. They've just settled. Right? They've just settled, but they've not settled down in that relationship either. But it's how they see you, the Homemaker. They see you as authentic. There's a lot of blue here. They see you as a good communicator. They see you, part of you is kind of traditional, but part of you is also kind of quirky. And that really keeps them on their toes. I think they have a lot of fantasies about taking you to bed, but about love making. Because I do see this mattress in the background here, so they do think about taking you to bed, but it's love making, because There's this gentle quality about you that they are absolutely drawn to. I think they fantasize about you serving them, which is a big deal because they see you as Empress Queen energy. I'm feeling like kind of earthly vibes. Yeah, earthly vibes. So some of you might be Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, but that earthly energy, you know, where your natural space is in the home. So maybe even Cancerian energy, because Cancer is all about the home. That's how they see you, this loving, giving type. But they feel like if they've come home to you, come home in your energy, that's how they're feeling. Okay, so why are they there? Trying to numb themselves out? I don't know. Let's find out. Spirit, tell us about this homemaker card. So they're feeling that magnetized towards you and to make a home with you specifically. Specifically. The Ten of Pentacles. You see what I'm saying? They look at you and all they see is legacy, family, happiness, growth. Right? Ten of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse, which is a karmic energy. We got the Devil. Well, we saw that underneath the deck, right? And we have the Four of Pentacles. So they're holding on to you because you are some kind of comfort zone to this person. And it may even be, you're such a comfort zone that it might even be some kind of toxic connection at this time. Okay. I am getting that this person looks like in the past, they kept their heart pretty guarded, right? They didn't open up their heart to you. Okay. Even though they felt drawn to you, they felt bound by you. They didn't open up their heart to you, and that's because they were blinded. Okay, they weren't seeing clearly. The karmic cycles that they had been in previously, really blinded them to who you were. I'm also getting their addictions, whether it's to drink or otherwise. Okay, these illusions, because I see this magician's hat here, these illusions really blinded them, and it prevented them from truly seeing who you were. So they're holding on to you with both hands, but they're also holding on to a comfort zone, and that comfort zone may be with somebody else, because it's the emotionally manipulative karmic coming through here. Okay, so there might be also someone here trying to make them bound. They might even be have a home or family with someone else, but they see you as the true Empress. Okay, and they're holding on to you. They don't want anybody to unwrap your gift. They feel like you are a gift from the universe. But this person, it looks like they're in some kind of toxic setup right there. And they have to free themselves from that. They got themselves entangled in that. And they got to free themselves from that. I mean, they're tied up with this big bow. The bow looks pretty, but they're still tied up. And I think that's what it is. So maybe they got involved with someone else or something else because it looked pretty on the outside. And now they just feel all tangled up about it. But your energy is pulling them in. That's what I get here. All right, let's see how this person is thinking and feeling about you at this time. How are they thinking and feeling about you at this time? Underneath the deck, we have the Six of Swords. So it looks like they're thinking about leaving another situation, whether it's some kind of hostile work environment. It could be some kind of family setup. And they're thinking about moving towards you because they see you as calm waters, right? They see you as this home. I think this person's doing a lot of healing. And there's a lot of truths that they had to accept, okay, about what they did in the past. I'm really getting that. Look, all the swords here, right? All these swords. So there's a lot of truths that they had to accept about their behavior, and this allowing them to move on from the things and the ways that they may have presented themselves in the past. So let's get 6 cards. What are they thinking and feeling about you at this time? We have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. I see a lot of reflection for this person, and they're reflecting. They didn't put in the effort. They didn't. They did not put in the effort. Whoa. That's a big one. That had a lot of energy. Yeah, they didn't put in the effort. They knew you were the bloody Empress, but they didn't put in the effort. They didn't. And we know we get... What the fuck is that? What was that? 1 second, guys. I had this big lapis lazuli world, and the world has crashed to the floor. So it looks like, I don't know, you turned their world upside down. The world as they knew it crashed to the floor. I hope it didn't break. Oh my gosh. I'll report on it later in the extended. I don't think so. I can't reach you wherever it is. Right. And maybe they think that they can't reach you now. Maybe they think, you know, all has fallen down and they can't reach you. But you turned their world upside down. Their world as they knew it came crashing down. That was so weird though. Good Lord. Yeah. What we have here, we have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the Page of Pentacles. A lot of Pentacle energy, guys. More Earth energy again. Well, we have the Hermit here, Virgo. And we have Justice, Libra coming through. This is definitely what I'm getting, you know. So a lot of reflection here for your person. You know, they are realizing that they were so concerned about juggling. I do think they might have been juggling you and somebody else, another situation, or maybe they had a lot of responsibilities and they were juggling all of it at one time. And of course, when you're doing that, you know, something always kind of falls and it looks like their whole world fell apart because they lost you. What they're realizing, they didn't put in the effort, okay? They were juggling, they were being a player, they were non-committal, they didn't put in the effort in this relationship, even though they recognized your value. They've always seen your value. But instead, they were giving you crumbs, okay? They were giving you scrums, right? They were giving you scrums. Scrubby crumbs, right? They were giving you scrums. Okay. And they were isolating themselves, more concentrating on protecting themselves, being kind of self-protective. But I do think they're going through some sort of karmic return here. Okay, maybe even Saturn return. There's something here. And what that's allowing, it's allowing for their heart to crack open, because I see this clam is opening up. And there's this oyster that they're finding. So, whatever's happening in their life right now, and it looks like a lot is happening, their world is falling apart, it's allowing them to see the true value of who you are, the true value of who they are, and their own innate value. I don't think this person valued themselves. And because they didn't value themselves, they couldn't value you. You can only give what you already have. And they didn't have this self-esteem, they didn't have this self-worth to see you for who you really were. So what are they thinking about right now? Well, I think they're going back and forth in their head, you know. Is it worth investing in this connection? Now they see your value, right? You're coming through as the Empress. Both of these are Empress cards. They see that, okay? But they're wondering if it's too late. They're wondering if you've already moved on. They're wondering if they will be able to provide for you. I'm really getting that. They're wondering if they should invest in this. They're wondering if they're good enough for you. They just keep going back and forth. Are they good enough? But throughout this whole process, they're examining themselves and they're finding their own truth. And this is bringing them back into balance. I do get there's a lot of things happening in their life right now. and a lot of like falling away of old patterns and old persons in their life. I do think that some of them, what's causing them to really reflect and really has brought them to their knees and might even be driving them to drink is, I do think there's been some big financial loss. For some of them, they're going through a divorce right now. Because we have the Two of Pentacles here, we have the Eight of Pentacles, okay? And that moves to the Ten of Pentacles reverse, right? It's a reverse cards, right? And that's my divorce card. So I do think there's been some kind of big financial upheaval as well. And that's also making them feel inadequate because they see you sitting pretty, right? Even here, she's well off. And here, she's definitely well off, okay? She's lounging. She's one of those women that do lounge, okay? Right? So you have everything and they only see themselves as this page. You're the whole Empress and they're this page. So they're wondering, do I have enough to give? Do I have enough to give to this Empress? This is what they're trying to figure out right now. And this is really forcing them to look at their own insecurities that they may have tried to cover up in the past. I do get that your person has come a long way, okay? And they've really been digging deep into their emotions and into their past, especially their past and their relationship with their father. I see the sun setting here. For some of them, they may have had a recent death in the family. And this is causing them to evaluate their life and the trajectory of their life. But a lot of their wounding is connected to the father energy there. So they've come a long way because they've decided they don't want to be like their father. They want to take control of their life. So even though we saw your person numbing out, even in that, they're opening themselves up to spirit and they're getting a lot of enlightenment. But I do, and then I was chatting away and my camera got knocked off. I think I was just talking about the father wound. Okay, so I want to dig a little deeper into that aspect of it. So let's have a look. Because, you know, if this is your twin, okay, or higher level soulmate, you're mirroring back to each other your woundedness. So this father wound may also pertain to you. What's underneath the deck? We have perpetrator. Okay, so there's something here. And we have guilt. So your father, their father, may have hurt them in some particular sort of way. Let's see what this is all about. Let's see if oh. Now we have differently abled. Okay, so there's something about your person. That's not everybody's unique, but it looks like your person or even you, there might be something about you that may fall into the category of differently abled by society standards, right? Society, they're obsessed with labeling people. So there's something that's differently able and may have been something that the father energy or whoever was modeling the masculine energy may have teased them about as a child, and they've really taken that and integrated that into their psyche, and it's part of the reason why they have such a low self-image or poor self-worth. Yeah, look at here, they've been bullied. They were bullied by this father energy or this masculine energy. Okay, and it was something, either it's their appearance or it could be maybe they're neurodivergent or something like this. But there's this bullying that happened here, and you know, and look, we have the alcohol addiction is coming up here. So your person may have started very early to numb out, and that is because they were bullied by this caregiver, this parental energy. So they're really coming to terms with that, and I think they're recognizing, it takes a while for us to recognize the humanity in our parents and our caregivers and those that were supposed to love and support us, right? A lot of them come from generations, generational trauma, and they just keep passing it on. And a lot of them came from the silent generation where they didn't talk about things. Okay, everybody's just very reactive and very instinctive, and it looks like your person may have had that sort of parental figure, maybe even you had that sort of energy, and maybe because of this, both of you have some kind of persecution complex going on. You always think that there's somebody out there to hurt you. The next person around the corner is going to hurt you in some kind of way, and it makes you very hyper vigilant, and it makes you very sensitive. So you're very quick to lash out at people, and you them causing drama over little things, and it's because you keep projecting that wounded caregiver energy onto your partners. So they've decided that they're not going to be like their father. Maybe their father, the masculine energy, used to lash out. Maybe their father had their own addictions, and it may not have been alcohol. It could have been, it could have been sex. It could have been something that they did to numb out. Maybe they even lashed out at the family. So maybe your person grew up in a very violent home, okay, where it was emotionally violent or physically violent or something like that. Addictions coming through again with their parents, okay. So your person's breaking away from a lot of toxic cycles, and it looks like generational trauma, and maybe you're also meant to do the same, and it comes through. It looks like your family, your father or the masculine energy's family line, okay, whoever modeled the masculine energy to you. I want to pull a card on that 8 of Pentacles in reverse. So, and this addiction card still stayed there. So we're going to keep it because we have the drunkard at the bottom, right? Spirit wants us to keep that one. Let's see that 8 of Pentacles. We have strength. We have Page of Cups. And we have 8 of Wands, and I feel like we're getting a story, and then we have the 4 of Wands. We're getting a story about the past. It looks like your person held back on their emotions, okay? In the past, they felt that they need to be strong, they need to be stoic, and maybe that is something that was modeled to them as well. But now that they're going through this heart awakening here with this Page of Cups, they want to talk to you, because I feel in this person there's a recognition that you are the twin, or you are the soulmate, or they're meant to build a home with you on that homemaker card. So I do see them being magnetized towards you, guided towards you with the star energy here. And this may have been something that, started last year, or whenever you're watching this reading, okay? The year before, it's a growing recognition, and now I think it's reached certainty. They do believe that they are meant to be with you, and that you are the one that they're meant to have this forever home with. That's what I'm getting. Okay. So what's the advice for you at this time? So that's what they're thinking and feeling about you. What's the advice? So after this, I'm going to go into the extended. We'll go into a semi-trance message, and then we're going to go into the vibes bag. What does Spirit have here for us? We have decisions, okay? So Spirit saying, yeah, this person, they're facing a decision, okay? Because they see you as an option, but guess what? You have options too, okay? And you can choose to be with this person, or you can choose not to. You can choose to stick around, or you could choose not to. But Spirit saying not choosing is also a choice. Either way, you're going to have to, the Spirit is going to force you to make a choice in the very near future. There's a timeline choice that's coming up for you right now. And Spirit saying you need to use your discernment to make the best choice for you, not for this person, the best choice for you. Let's see decisions. It's time to make an important decision. Consider your choices carefully, then act. You might be pleasantly surprised by the outcome. Pondering her options, this mermaid knows she can swim in any direction and the choice is ultimately hers, right? So don't give your power away to somebody else by waiting for them to make a choice. You make a choice, right? She knows her decisions could affect others, so she spends some time thinking carefully about everything before she fully commits to a positive course of action. It's easy to procrastinate when it comes to making important decisions in life. We never really know how destiny will manifest as a result of our decisions. If you're finding it difficult to come to an important decision, it would be wise to consult the oracle using one of the more in-depth spreads or a trusted friend who has your best interest at heart. Speaking with a counselor might shed some light on the matter for you too. This card could also be telling you that someone you know is having to make a difficult decision. I definitely think that with your person. They keep going back and forth, right? And they may require your wisdom and advice. If this is the case, ask the person to list all the pros and cons of their options, and you should do the same as well, right? Of their options, then work through the decision-making process together in a methodical way. Try to keep any strong emotions at bay during this time, as it will help them or you to see things clearly. When this card appears in a reading with the Contemplate or Hope cards, the meaning of both cards are amplified. Any decision that you make can have a very happy outcome, so stay positive and look at the bright side. Trust in your destiny and all is well. So listen, you can't go wrong. Whatever decision you make is going to manifest in happiness, and it's because you did the work, okay? But Spirit says right now you have to focus on you and what's best for you and what's right for you. And this person, if this person isn't showing up the way that you require or the way you've been showing up for them, then it's definitely a time to move forward for now, or move forward. The choice is ultimately yours, okay? So guys, thank you so much for everything that you do for this channel. Your likes, shares, subscribes, or dislikes, they all help this channel grow and this community grow. If you're able to join me next Sunday, please do so. I'm going to go into a semi-trance message from your person, and then we're going to go into the vibes bag, okay? My love, take care. Bye. Well, 3, welcome to your reading. So if you chose this brooch here and the Mermaid Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So before we get into the main read, I'm just going to pull a card from my Archetypes and Shadows deck. It's from the deck by Chuck Spezzano, and we're just going to get a significator for your person. Let's have a look. Let's see a significator for how they're feeling towards you at this time. Let me turn on the music again. Right, let's see. So I feel like this person is spending a lot of time alone in solitude and just trying to get a handle on their emotions and their feelings, because I don't think this is someone who's accustomed to acknowledging how they feel. All right, so the energy towards you, they want to be provider. I feel like you guys can watch pile 2, and let me take a note of that. So pile 3 can watch pile 2, because that was the main energy there. Or was it pile 2? Oh no, pile 1. So pile 3 can watch pile 1, not pile 2, pile 1, right? Because that was the energy that they wanted to provide. Okay, this person sees you as very unique and very abundant on your own, and they want to be on your level. They want to level up, okay? They don't feel right now like they're good enough, and that's been like the energy throughout the whole piles, quite frankly. This poor self-image, okay, and not feeling good enough, but they want to be a provider. Okay, they want to care for you. They want to show you how they feel. I feel this person's love language might be gift giving and acts of service. Okay, so they want to be there for you. All right, let's see the energy towards you at this time. Shaman. And would you know, this is the card that came out for pile 1. So there's definitely a connect there. Okay, this came out as the energy card. So I want you to look in pile 1 for any additional messages. Okay, because I'm not going to say back all the messages that I get in pile 1. I think I'm getting something different here. So pile 3 usually has a lot of Scorpios for some reason. Okay. And no, I'm not a Scorpio. I'm actually your opposite polarity, a Taurus. And they always get Scorpio energy, and it's very clear here. We have the Scorpion here, and then we have the ego, which even though it's associated with Aquarius, it is also the highest vibration of Scorpio energy. This is the evolved Scorpio, and this Scorpion here is the unevolved Scorpio. So your person right now, they're going through an evolutionary cycle. I see this like the cycle of life, like the food chain. I see the cycle of life that's happening here. I think your person, and then, I didn't see the seed. And that's why I said, go and watch pile 1 for different interpretations of the cards, but I'm not getting the same interpretation. I'm also getting that your person is very connected to the elemental realm here. I am seeing these elves here. I do think your person was operating in lower energies. I'm also seeing an armadillo here. So very self-protective. So very quick to lash out. Even the Scorpion, the tail is furled, ready to lash out. So I think your person is someone, they have a hair trigger. Okay, they have a hair trigger. They're very hypervigilant. Okay, very much operating in that reptilian brain. And that happens because of trauma. Trauma rewires your brain, and it really fucks up your nervous system. I'm sorry to just put it out there like that, but that's what it does. And maybe you could do a lot more research about trauma and how it affects your nervous system, and what you can do to de-escalate. Because if this is your person and you believe that this person is your twin, or this person is your higher level soulmate, they are mirroring back to you your wounding. So if they're hypervigilant, chances are you're hypervigilant too. And maybe that's why this message is coming to the fore. So this person, they're going through this evolutionary cycle and really stepping into their power and learning how to heal themselves, right? The shaman is a healer, right? And the shaman also, the shamanic journey is about moving from the darkness into the light. Okay, it's that cycle. So I think this is what your person is doing right now, moving from the darkness into the light, and they're healing themselves. I see a lot of spiritual energy surrounding them at this time. I see spirit guides here, and I see ancestors here. Look at this tree with the eye. Ancestors here supporting them at this time. First time I'm seeing this, I'm seeing the snake. And even though the snake has always been associated with temptation and evil, and maybe your person was tempted, okay, in the past, the snake is also the bringer of knowledge, right? It's the light bearer, right? Okay, that's how Lucifer was portrayed, the light bearer. So your person also getting a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and snakes are also symbols of transformation. So a lot of the imagery here in this is also about transformation. And you can look at pile 1 for sure for the interpretation of the crocodile, because the crocodile is also about evolution. I talked about that tribe in Papua New Guinea that mark the boys, the males, go through an initiation that marks from boyhood to adulthood by taking on these tribal marks that look like the crocodile. Okay, the tribal markings look like a crocodile because they believe the crocodile is their ancestors. They believe that man evolved from crocodiles. So in order to honor their ancestors, they mark their bodies like that. So I'm definitely, it's that evolution that your person's going through. So from that reptilian brain, coming in and stepping into their power. So this is what I see, and you have triggered this awakening in them, and that's a pertinent to you. You have triggered this awakening. You have triggered them going on this whole journey. You are the reason why they are changing, right? But they're now doing it for themselves. But you are the one that was the catalyst in bringing about this big change, this big process that they're going through right now. All right, so let's get some cards. Listen, I was looking for this card in the other part and I couldn't find it. And here it is. Right? I want to tell you how I feel. And I think this person, they may have been very self-protective in the past. We're going to put this here. They may have been very self-protective in the past. but I feel like they want to open up. Spirit tells us about the shaman card. All right, we have the sun. So this is them stepping into divine masculine energy, whether they're male or female in body. We're talking about the energy here, right? You might be the more intuitive or feminine energy because you're watching this reading. So they're stepping into their power, they're stepping into their strength, and they're manifesting their own happiness. Okay, which is something different for your person, because I feel this is someone who've always looked on the outside. I told you are there, right? Empress is number one, right? You are the one that triggered this transformation. But I was saying, I think your person has always sought external validation, but you triggered them into looking for that happiness on the inside of themselves. Yeah, this person didn't love themselves. 9 of Cups in reverse. Ace of Wands, stepping into their power, right? That's what all that Ace of Wands about. Is about taking charge of your life and accepting your spiritual self. And then we have the 6 of Cups, reunion. So this person, I think they're looking to make a comeback in your life, okay? But they know they have to come back bigger and better than before. They can't come back in the same shit energy, the same codependent energy as before. And this is why they're doing this major reconstruction, because that's the word I heard. This major reconstruction on themselves right now. You have done that. You've done that, and they want to be their best version of themselves for you. But as they go through this process of doing it for you, I think they're doing it now for themselves, right? Standing in their power, standing up for their beliefs, you know, because they want this reunion. They recognize you as a soulmate. They feel like, you know, whatever they have is going to multiply under your watch because Empress can make anything bloom and grow and thrive. And they see that about you, okay? Yeah, so they're facing their inner demons, they're facing their fears, they're going through this process, they're accepting this journey, and you are the one that has triggered this for them. So let's look at their thoughts and feelings about you at this time. We're going to get about 6 cards. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel this is the energy that is transient at this time. This is who they were, right? Unevolved Taurus. And unevolved Taurus is very much like unevolved Scorpio. Stubborn as F. Yes, we are. Could be addicted to the material world, addicted to material things, because that's the nature of Taurian energy. It's about the earthly things, earthly pleasures, right? So we're talking about money, good food, we're talking about company, and you know, unevolved Taurus, you're taking it to the extremes. There's no balance there, okay? And I think this is what your person was at that time. They were just unreliable, and risk doing a lot of extreme behavior, you know. So let's get 6 cards. Oh, let me pack this up. Let's get 6 cards. Let's see. Yeah, they're having a wake-up call, because that's my alarm going off. 1 second. So we have the Lovers in reverse. And, you know, this feels like Power 1 already. So we have Gemini coming through. We have the 8 of Cups. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. We have the 7 of Wands in reverse. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. We have the Ace of Cups upright. And we have the Chariot in reverse. Also Cancerian energy. So what am I getting here? I think your person, as we saw here, really working on themselves. And what they're working on is walking away from not having proper boundaries, walking away from not loving themselves properly. I do think this person, their boundaries were really lax. I think, again, in a lot of extreme behavior. Because this person looks like, like they're in some kind of drunken stupor or something like that. A lot of extreme behavior, and I think they're walking away from that, and it's because of this connection. We have here the lovers in reverse, and that tells me that this is a recognition that your person has made a choice. When it's upright, it talks about a choice to be made, but when it's in reverse, for me, it means that choice has been made. They have made a decision to go on this path, and part of that is listening to their intuition, right? And walking away from shit that no longer serves them. So for some of them, it may be a karmic partner that they need to walk away from. For others, there's an addiction here, some sort of substance addiction that they need to walk away from. Whatever it is, whatever that inner demon is, they are facing it head on. And it might be something ancestral, something in their lineage that they're working with. And it might be not having proper boundaries. And when we don't have proper boundaries, we allow people to run roughshod over us. And we allow people to hurt us, abuse us. We are overgivers. We stay in all kinds of abusive relationships, whether they're financially abusive, spiritually abusive, physically abusive, emotionally abusive. We just don't have those boundaries that tell people that this is a fucking line and you're not supposed to cross it, right? So it looks like this person, their whole life is people pleasing, okay, and allowing people to abuse them because, people can only do what we are allowed. That doesn't mean that it gives them a right to treat them the way that they treat us, okay? But it does mean that everything that happens to us, there's a part that we play in it. So that's not to say it's your fault, but it is to say that there's a part that you play in it, whether it was you didn't love yourself enough, or you had lax boundaries like this person, or you ignored your intuition, whatever it is, or you let the opinions of others sway you, okay, because you didn't believe in yourself, whatever it is, there's always a part that we have to be accountable for. Okay, we can't go around blaming people. Even though we might have been a victim, it doesn't mean that we have to stay in victimhood. Okay, because staying in victimhood means giving your power away to those persons. And it also says, okay, the issue was with them, not me. And once the issue's with them and not me, then we don't change and we don't heal. It will always be their issue. But if we look at it objectively and we see what was the part that we played, then we're able to heal, and then the situation does not reoccur. Because people can only do what we allow, unless of course you're a victim of crime or something like that. That's totally different, right? But we're talking about everyday relationships or the everyday relating to others. People can only do what we allow. So we're not talking about victims of crime. We're not. We're talking about all everyday relating to people. Okay. Yeah, and it looks like this person, they weren't true to themselves, right? And if you want to not true to yourself, you can't be genuine to anyone else. So this person might have had a problem speaking the truth. So maybe even a pathological liar, maybe that is a habit that they are walking away from as well. You might be in no communication with this person at this time for some of you guys, but I'm not really getting that. I'm getting like sporadic communication, right? But this person, they do want to manifest this new beginning with you, but they know that it has to come from within first. They have to love themselves first before you even think about giving to somebody else. Because then you have to ask yourself, if I don't love myself, what am I giving? I'm not giving love. I'm not giving love. It reminds me, there was an episode on Iana Fix My Life. And it was a man who was a serial cheater. When I tell you serial cheater, more than 50-something women he had cheated on his wife with. And when you really drill down to the problem, it's low self-esteem, right? They're looking for external validation. And she was telling him, if you don't love yourself, you really have to think about what you're offering to other people. Because she was saying, if you give from a place of brokenness, then what you're really giving is trash. And we have to understand that. We might think it's love, but really it's attachment, and it's desperation, and it's all woundedness, and it's all trauma bond. And this is what this person is realizing as well. So this person might have even walked away from you and gone into another situation. But once you don't love yourself, of course, it's just trauma bonding, and that's what they did. And I think they're realizing that now. Now they're stuck in this shit. If we have Chariot in reverse, they're stuck in this. They're stuck in a situation where there's no boundaries. It's just toxicity. But I see them, they're working their way through that. And it may be slow, but it's happening. That cycle of change and transformation is happening for your person. I definitely see that. But it's a process. It's a process. And maybe the final frontier is about them being true to themselves here. Because this Ace of Swords is still in reverse. So there's a part of themselves that they're still hiding. There's something that they're still bound to here with this rope. And they can only free themselves by telling the truth, right? It's the truth that sets you free, right? So I still see that this truth telling is a final frontier. And I think they want to start with you. I want to tell you how I feel. So I think this person, they hit a lot of things. They hit a lot of their behavior. They hit their emotions, their feelings. For a lot of them, they hit their past, especially past with past lovers. And you might find when you dig up in this person's past, it's more of the same toxic relationships because they never took that time out to heal. Just going from partner to partner, partner to partner, and maybe even saying, it's a their issue, nothing is wrong with me. Right? It's a their issue. Right? So even in your situation, it's your fault, right? So once it's the other's fault, then you don't have to look at yourself. And I think that's a tactic and strategy that your person has employed for a very long time. But I see them standing and confronting this and confronting, these fallacies that have allowed them to operate in this reptilian brain for a very long time. And again, if you believe that this person, your twin, your high level soulmate, then there's some work around that, around this issue of boundaries and so on, that you need to work on as well. Okay? All right, so let's get advice for you. So this is what your person's powering through. They're working on walking away from their addictions, their fears, anything that keeps them bound, anything that doesn't resonate with their authentic self. That is what this person is working on, and you have triggered this process. In the extended, we're going to go a little deeper. We're going to go into the vibes bag, okay, that we see here. We're going to see what's inside there. I'm going to get a semi-trance message from your person. Let's see what they have to say to you, because it looks like they want to tell you how they feel. All right. And whatever charms or oracle cards that's in the vibes bag, we're going to have a look at that. Underneath the deck, we have contentment. Okay, and I think that's you. You're sitting pretty and you're looking at your life and you're pretty content. You could possibly be happier, and there are other things you might want for your life. But all in all, you might be pretty content with what's happening. So what's the advice for you? The advice for you is recognition. Okay, so there's something that Spirit wants you to see here. I'm also getting another message that this person's recognizing you as the divine counterpart. I do get that, and that's the message that came out in Power 1. So please definitely watch that. Okay, but there's something that Spirit's saying that you are entangled in that they want you to recognize here. And look, you see, and I think it's a message I've been telling you throughout this whole reading. This mermaid, she's holding a mirror in her hand. So Spirit is saying you have to recognize that this person is mirroring yourself to you. So everything I've said about your person also pertains to you. So you can go and watch back this reading, and this time just watch it like if I'm reading about you, okay? Because everything I said pertains to you. So whatever I said about whatever addictions they might have also pertains to you. And addictions is an addiction is anything that we use to escape from our reality and to stay in our illusions, okay? So, the chronic scrolling on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, losing yourself in these readings, being a shopaholic, overeating, whatever it is that we use to kind of numb out, Spirit is saying here, you have to recognize that you and this person, you guys are one. And just as they are entangled in some kind of addiction that they have to break out of, and it's because they're lacking self-love, you also are meant to break out from that cycle as well. So let's read recognition and let's see what it's all about. Well, that's what I got from that card. Okay, so Spirit saying, prepare to be recognized for something that you've done. You've worked super hard and it's time to reap the rewards of seed sown. It's said everyone has their 5 minutes of fame, but this moment is saying it could be for a lot longer than 5 minutes. You've earned this income and recognition. Might be a lifetime, right? Try not to let it go to your head or ego. Instead, let it go to your heart with deep gratitude. Appreciate and relish the acknowledgement that's coming your way. Your hard work is about to pay off, and you can now sit back and relax for a while. There's still more work to be done, but you'll soon see the fruits of your labor in the form of recognition and the benefits it brings. Enjoy the feeling of being appreciated whilst remaining humble. If your recognition comes with a financial reward, pay off any existing debts, then share your good fortune with those that you love and care about. Or perhaps donate to a charitable organization. Use your position wisely and try not to let it change who you are. Perhaps you or someone you know is about to be nominated for or receive an award. Being publicly recognized is a beautiful thing and it's very well deserved. Or maybe you're being asked to put someone's name forward for public recognition. However this message about being recognized applies to your life, know that moments like this are happy highlights and will create precious memories for you to treasure. If this card appears alongside the memories card, the messages of both cards will be reinforced. Okay, so Spirit is saying you're about to be elevated. And if it's happening to you, it's also happening to your person, right? You're about to be elevated. But there's something here that's holding you back. And I do think it's like just as your person has a final frontier with speaking their truth, you have some kind of final frontier that's keeping you back here. Okay? It feels like procrastination. I don't know why I got that. But it feels like procrastination, guys. I don't know why. Okay? Anyway, if this resonates with you, it does. So if you're able, join me in Extended. I'm going to do that semi-trance message for you guys and go into the vibes bag. If not, I'm just grateful that you're watching this, that you are clicking your like, your dislike, your comment, supporting me through the cups of coffee. Whatever it is that you're doing to help our community grow and expand, I am really grateful for that and I thank you. Take care. Bye.